آله وصحبه ومن والاه. We ask our Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, as this month progresses, may our tafakkur and tadabbur, our reflection and pondering upon the meanings of the Quran increase. And may we, that from the blessing of this beautiful recitation that we're hearing, have these meanings that penetrate to the depths of our being. That a few verses that we just recited in Surah Al-Isra, Allah Ta'ala says, مَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْعَاجِلَةَ عَجَّلْنَا لَهُ فِيهَا مَا نَشَاءُ لِمَنْ نُرِيدُ ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَا لَهُ جَهَنَّمَ يَصْلَاهَا مَذْمُومًا مَدْحُورًا. The translation of this meaning states is that whoever wants the ajila, this world, this immediate world, is that we will hasten forth for them, for those whom we please, what is in it, that we will hasten forth what is in it, that in the way that we please for those that are seeking it. ثُمَّ جَعْنَا لَهُ جَهَنَّمَ, and then that we will that place them in that Jahannam, and that they will be in a blameworthy state and that banished. And then Allah Ta'ala says, that juxtaposing that group of people to another, وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ وَسَعَى لَهَا سَعْيَهَا, and whoever wants the afterlife, the hereafter, and strives for it, and he is a believer, فَأُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ سَعْيُهُمْ مَشْكُورًا. Those people, is that that striving will be thanked, i.e. rewarded, and that they will receive the contentment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that Allah ta'ala is speaking here about different people who want different things. And the verb that he is using, that in the first verse in the present tense and the second verse in the past tense, is that aradu yuridu. And that this is to will something, but it's also to want something, it's to desire something, it's to aspire towards something. And this is why there's two different types of murids. There is the person that wants this world, and there's the person that wants the next world. And Allah Ta'ala is telling us about the difference between the two. And that in this blessed month of Ramadan, this is a time for us to really pause and to ask ourselves, what is it that we really want? What is it that you and I really, really want? And the person who's intelligent realizes, no matter how long we live in this world, is that we never truly will be able to attain from this world what we want. And just as that we feel a desire and enjoy it, and the next moment that it is gone. And then we have to have a stronger desire to fulfill what it is that we're seeking, and then that is gone. The nature of this world is perishing. And even those who seek it can never really catch it. And this is why the dunya flees from the one who seeks it, and it comes to the one who turns away from it. But this is an important time for us to really ask ourselves, what do we want? And it doesn't mean that we can't have worldly possessions. But it means is that whenever we acquire worldly possessions, we have to do two things. We have to make a righteous intention behind its acquisition, and we have to give thanks to Allah Ta'ala for it. And you can add a third dimension, which is that using it in a way that is pleasing to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what we really want to be, we want to be from the second group. We want to desire the akhirah. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةِ, whoever wants the akhirah. And really to want the akhirah, someone might say, well, how do I want that? If I examine my own self, I'm somewhere in between. I'm here and I'm there, and maybe sometimes that I incline a little bit more towards the world, and other times that I do have this dimension where I'm aspiring towards the afterlife. Is that what we really want to ask Allah Ta'ala for? And this is one of the greatest blessings of all. And this is one of the greatest gifts of all you could possibly receive. And it's highly likely for those who are seeking it to receive it in the blessed month of Ramadan, because it's one of the greatest manifestations of the nadra, of the divine gaze of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is what is called a ba'ith, a powerful urge. This is the verse that Imam Abdullah bin Abi al-Haddad that quotes towards the beginning of his book, Adab Suluk al-Murid, the etiquettes of the spiritual wayfaring of the aspirants, of those who are seeking closest to Allah Ta'ala. And that if someone's granted a ba'ith, that powerful urge will motivate them forward to desire that the afterlife and the hereafter and that what is to come. But notice here, it's not enough to just want it. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ. This is the way that it starts. It begins with the powerful urge, but وَسَعَى سَعْيَهَا, and follows up with an appropriate striving that is befitting for the one who really says that he or she is desiring of the afterlife. And then there's also that another condition as well, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. That is their hal, that is their state, that ends while someone's in a state of belief that this is the whole process. That what is the result of that person? فَأُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ سَعْيُهُمْ مَشْكُورًا. Is that person, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will thank them for their striving. If you really think about the name of Allah, Ash-Shukur is one of the most beautiful names of all. That were we not to have existence, we wouldn't be able to do anything that it is that we do. That were it not to be for Allah's tawfiq, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And then on top of all of that, giving us life, giving us the ability to do what it is, that everything that we do, is that He thanks us for it, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the meaning of being thanked for it is He grants us reward, and He that dawns upon us His that good pleasure, subhanahu wa ta'ala. كُلٌّ نُمِدُّ هَؤُلَاءِ وَمِنْ هَؤُلَاءِ مِنْ عَطَاءِ رَبِّكَ. That both of these groups, that group and this other group, is that we give them from the gifts of your Lord, i.e. in the world. And this is why is that everyone here in this world can receive the divine gifts while we're here in the world. But the next world is where we really want to that receive Allah Ta'ala's gifts. وَمَا كَانَ عَطَاءُ رَبِّكَ مَحْظُورًا, is that Allah Ta'ala's gifts will that never be withheld. انظر كيف فضلنا بعضهم على بعض. Look how we have preferred some over others in this world. Some people are wealthier than others, some people have more status than others, some people have better health. All of these different designations and classifications here in this world. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ أَكْبَرُ دَرَجَاتٍ وَأَكْبَرُ تَفْضِيلًا, is that the ranks of paradise are even greater, and there's even greater preference. And this is why Ibn Abbas said the difference between a common believer and a scholar, that in that paradise is 500 degrees, each degree of which is the distance between the heavens and the earth. Our teachers taught us is that were someone to have one hasana more, one good deed more than someone else, is that their rank in paradise that would manifest as that the distance between the heavens and the earth, is that the preference in the way this manifests in the afterlife is that great. This is why that we are encouraged to strive for it, that here in this world. So let us, now that we are at the midpoint of Ramadan, that alhamdulillah, 15 days have gone. May Allah Ta'ala accept from all of us, but we have that about that 14 or 15 days of fasting left, and that we ask Allah Ta'ala to give us tawfiq in them, and anything that we missed in the early part of the month, may we, inshallah Ta'ala, that receive in the latter part of the month. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah.